But if I look to the camera once in a while, it's good or it's bad. I don't know. How does it work? It's not bad.
But I'll use two cameras. Okay? You can start wherever you want.
1, 2, 3. So this is Always Waiting. It's one of the oldest sculptures that I have for the show. It's from 2013, and it's a sculpture I did of my brother. It was a time where he was injured and he was staying at home as I was. No, I was working at home making my sculptures, and he's a guy always that he liked it a lot to do sport and be very active. And he was like staying at home, and I could see like he was very low, no, and I was thinking, no, that this name, like someone that's always waiting, it's holding the head, we have this weight, and now we did this version in bronze that it have these broken parts where you can see the inside interior. It's like golden, and the outside is black. It's more matte, and I think it plays a lot with the psychological level, no? That what we see from the outside, but the inside it can be really different, and it have these two worlds. So this is the first piece of the show.
Too much.
Yes, I know. You can take the parts you like. Yeah. Many of the portraits I start with the image of someone, and then I spend a lot of times by myself, and all the portraits, they tend to go in one direction.
All of them come from imagination, like this.
Yeah. The older work normally are more from using models, some parts at least, and from 4 or 5 years ago, like I'm almost working from imagination. Sometimes using some image reference that I took of a friend, or maybe I see something on internet. But then, since I make my thing, like you would never recognize it. No? Flying, for example, it's something that since I was a kid, it's something that I had so many dreams. It's one of these little things that we cannot do. No, even like we create planes, we invent machines, but like it's not birds. They fly by themselves. They don't need anything. No. So Earth Listener is one of the most recent piece I did last year. It's a piece that I like a lot. I think it's really strong in terms of composition. It's a really simple shape, really big body, and then this small head really round. It's like it plays like an accent, and I like it a lot. The idea of is this like guy with the foot on the ground, and is trying to listen the sound of the earth, because I think we are very disconnected from nature, and it's a sculpture that I think it's very emotional.
This is one of your first pieces, no?
It's made in Florence, 2015, yes, and it was a project that I think it was a turning point in my path, no? Because I was studying in the Florence Academy, where we normally use live model, and this was my final project, and I had an idea of a type of body, and the idea and the gesture I wanted to give, no? And I was like trying to find a model that could fit this idea, but at some point I realized that I needed to do it my way to produce the sculpture, the idea I wanted. So this was very cool, because I start to I ask a friend to pose for the torso, I take some pictures, then I look at ballet dancers for the poses of the legs. I use a lot the mirror to understand the shapes, use a lot my hands to understand the shapes also. So since this project, I felt really free that I could make the sculptures I want it doesn't matter if I'm isolated in the desert, there is no other people to pose for me. I can produce the sculptures, so it gives me so much freedom, no? Wind, it's a sculpture that I like because also it's really simple and very effective. Like it's a really small sculpture, so I really take time to design everything very well. You have very like different moments. Like you look here, you see all this vibrancy, really like hard shapes, a lot of contrast. Then you have some softness of the face. Then you find some sharpness again, and then as you go around, you start to find silence, no? Silence, but it's almost like the dune of a desert, that it feels pleasant too. Then you find a little accent of the texture, and then you have a much bigger desert with this like really soft transition, and then you find this sharpness again, no? It's like you have very different rhythms. What I realized, he had a very like sharp features, and so I came up with this idea of call it cactus, and I end up all the shapes in a like pointy way to express like the hardness of a cactus, no? And the cactus, it's something that I find it interesting because it's something that's very beautiful, but you cannot touch, no? 1, 2, 3. The offering. This sculpture, the idea I had about it when I was making that sculpture is that well, it doesn't matter if social media or now, like of course it's more obvious, but always we create our own mask, no, to show to the society. And sometimes you don't even realize that you are wearing this mask. Since you were a kid, you are doing things to maybe if I do it like this, people likes it, so people is happy, and yeah, and you want to. It's survivance, no? At the same time, like you want the people to like you, and then I realized that you are offering like this mask, no? This is me to people, sometimes just to make them happier, and you are sacrificing a lot from your own life. So hope, I think, is one of my most important pieces. I did it in 2019. I was preparing an exhibition in the Museum of Ampurdá. It's the museum of the city of my region. And it's a sculpture that, yeah, I think for me, yeah, it's really meaningful. It represents like sometimes like when you are in a dark moment and you feel like there's nothing to fight for, or like you feel dark, and but then there is something, no, it's called hope, no? And like hope, it could be like something very small but so powerful that wants you to keep living and fight for the life and have new experiences. Once I heard, no, that one of the happiest person in the world was someone that it is in jail, and they said they made like a test with putting some machines and stuff like this, and that, yeah, they say they realized that was the happiest person in the world. He goes to the library every day, and if he reads, he's able to go with his mind, go anywhere, and that happiness is inside us. It's how we perceive the world. It's the world that we create, no? So thinking about this idea, I made this sculpture in a landscape. As you see, like here in the eye, you see those lines is like a jail, but then on the top of the head, it's this like a landscape, like Tuscany landscape with the hill and the typical tree. So I like to imagine when you see the sculpture, you can see it in two levels. You see the figure, but then when you forget about the figure and you see just the green, you can see just the contour of a beautiful landscape with green and yeah. Is this what you thought? No.
Not the landscape.
Yes.
That you imagine.
Yes.
But the whole idea
That where it come from, no? Yeah.